I switched from the DJI Neo to the Mini 5 Pro and I've had this 6 months now. What do I think about it? Well, I'll tell you in this video. If you're regular to my channel, you will know that I started off with the DJI Neo and I switched to the Mini 5 Pro. Now the DJI Neo is a perfect bit of kit, as I always say, in regards to starting off drone flying. I never flown a drone before in my life. I got the DJI Neo and I thought it was fantastic. And what I want to do is I want to show you a bit of the footage I took with the DJI Neo, and then we'll switch on to the Mini 5 Pro and I'll tell you all about that. So let's go. So this bit of footage you can see here now is Stockton-on-Tees High Street. This is going over the Shambles towards the town hall. And when you've got the DJI Neo with a filter on the front, the sun's behind you, there's no wind, you can get some really nice footage. It can be nice and clear. This is only 4K 30 frames because that's the best that the Neo could do. But as you can see there, it is really nice for what the little cheap drone it is. And as we switch from that, we end up going to Richmond. This is me just following water going down Richmond Falls. I wanted to try some arty shots, and I wanted to try and get near the water because water is something that I always worry about flying over. So I was just following that down. And then the next bit of footage you can see here is Cullendon Tower, which is in Richmond. And I wanted to do a point of interest shot on that. A few of the times that I filmed Cullendon Tower, there was a bit of a gust of wind and it would sort of wobble and distort the footage. So I just kept doing it a number of times until I got one that went through the entire cycle without any issues. But I've been all over, been to Barnard Castle and I filmed the castle over there with the Neo and got up above the tower area. I filmed, there was like a bridge going over the River Tees, I filmed that. And then I went over to, there's a white bridge further along, and I got some footage of the DJI Neo just going over the River Tees towards Barnard Castle itself, and I thought that was fantastic, a lovely sort of cinematic, I would say, sort of video. But then I went to Saltburn and Mask area and filmed sort of an upshot and sort of angling down onto a building. Then I went over to St Germain's Church, which is only a tower now, because I wanted to do a point of interest on that. I thought it was a lovely little building. Obviously you've got the gravestones around it, you've got the coastline over one side. So I thought it'd be excellent to get the DJI Neo and do a little point of interest around that. And then obviously fly through the graves over to show you the sort of coast and the beach area. Obviously it's not overly amazing being the Neo. There is pixelation, a bit of distortion. It's not crystal clear like it would be with the Mini 5 Pro. But then I headed over along down the road, Saltburn, and filmed some bits there of the amusement area, the cliff lift area, which looked great for the Neo, and that long pier going towards the North Sea, which was excellent. And this next bit of footage is Gunnerside Gill, and this is on the North York Moors. And I thought it was a beautiful little video just going down the valley area, showing you a bit of the old mine area, the mills, and just sort of going along there. So the Neo 1 does create some nice videos at times. Obviously the gimbal only goes up and down, so if there's any wind you do get that bit of a rumble, a bit of distortion, whereas the Neo 2 doesn't. It has a movable gimbal, so if there's any sort of movement it will just move and keep the position. Exactly the same as the Mini 5 Pro. But yeah, the footage isn't too bad as long as you've got the sun behind you, you've got a filter on the front to bring that ISO and shutter speed down. You can get some decent footage. Now on to the Mini 5 Pro. So this is a little woodland area near where I live, and I did film some footage with a Neo about a year before this, and I wanted to see how it compared, so I thought I'll fly over a similar path. And you've got those autumnal colours there, and I wanted to see, like, when you're filming with the Neo, there was sort of graininess, sort of imperfections with it, sort of a horrible sort of distortion-y blur. But when it comes to the Mini 5 Pro, it was just great to be able to capture that footage. Automatic settings, the only thing that was manual was white balance, everything else was just automatic, and I just flew over the trees at a sort of decent enough speed just to see if you got blur on there, if you got the distortion like you did with the Neo. But it was excellent, it looked really clear and perfect. Now the footage you're going to see now is over my hometown of Hartburn. Now with this footage, I wanted to follow a car down, angle the gimbal down as you can see now, and just follow a car. So I saw a blue car and I tried to keep up with that because I wanted to see how it would look, just keeping the focal point on that car, seeing what the sort of area either side of it was. Was a motion blur? Was it clear? How did it look? I think it was 4K 30 frames with an ND16 filter on the front. And as you can see, I think it looks pretty good. And then obviously we went from autumn to winter, and I went over to a farmland, an abandoned farm that I filmed at a few times now. And I wanted to get some different shots of the farmland. So as you can see now, you can see the farm. I'm sort of going in different directions over that particular farm. So you can see it, you can see the snow. I wanted to see how it affected all. Again, I think this has got an ND16 filter on the front, just following that around. And then it was probably about a month later, I flew over again from a different farm area over to the old abandoned farm, as you can see now. Again, that was with an ND16 filter on there. And I just did, it was basically on cruise control. I got it at a certain speed and just cruise controlled all the way just to see how that will look as well. And I think it looks great. But then obviously I wanted to try and do sort of different shots from different areas where I live. So this shot you can see now, this is Preston Park Museum, and this is the little Victorian street you'll see in a moment. And I wanted to basically just angle the gimbal down so far and just fly in a straight line so you could see the street, and then obviously gimbal up slightly so you can see the end of the street, and then gradually go up over the rooftops, which you can see now. But it's a lovely place to visit, and I thought it was a great sort of bit of footage, which I have done one of those tilt shift filters on the front, which basically makes it look like a little toy village. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out. And the last bit of footage that I've got is Ropner Park. Now I thought Ropner Park would be a great sort of place to film. There's like a play area for the kids, there's a bandstand, there's a pond, there's open fields, there's lots of different environments and different things happening. Stuff is stationary, stuff's moving around, there's birds and stuff, so I thought I'd get to different sort of heights. As you can see, I start off from the bandstand and I work my way up, get to a certain height, and then I'm basically just flying around, sort of seeing what's there. I'll sort of cut between different shots rather than showing you the full footage. But yeah, so I'll basically fly over the sort of the play area. You've got the blue of that play area over there. I fly then over some houses sort of further out of the sort of heartburn area to see what they would look like up. And then once I'd filmed around there for a little bit, I thought the next bit I want to do is go over the pond area. So what I did is I took the drone up to a certain height because I could see those birds circling around at a certain height. So I thought if I go at that height, they're going to maybe go near the drone, and I don't want it dropping in the pond. So yeah, so I took it up higher so you can see birds further down. I'm sort of angled down, getting a nice aerial shot of that beautiful pond area where the geese and swans and likes are sort of swimming around, just to see what it's like. So after having the DJI Mini 5 Pro for 6 months, what do I think about it? Well, when it comes to the difference between that and the Neo, it's a difference between a push bike and a Porsche. Obviously with the Neo, you could operate it just by the drone alone, whereas this, you do need a controller. But it was a gimbal as well. With the gimbal on here, it moves all over. So when it's moving side to side, up and down, whatever, it will keep a straight focus on the subject. Whereas a Neo, if it moved this way, it couldn't maneuver this way. It could only go up and down. So the footage would be blurred. So you'd end up using more batteries to get footage because you'd be doing something, the wind would blow it, you'd see the distortion, you'd have to go back and start again. So you'd end up wasting so much time. Whereas this, you can do it straight away. There's no messing around. You just set it to do what it needs to do. It'll film it. The gimbal will stay perfectly on the subject. And yeah, I mean, when I bought it, I got it the basic package. So it only had one battery. So I ended up getting another battery. I had the RC-N3 controller with it. So I ended up selling that, and I got the RC2, which is so much better than having to put your mobile phone into the controller. It's a lot simpler, a lot more compact, and it's just a great drone to fly. I mean, I was up at Tynemouth not so long ago, as you can see here, and I was just filming Collingwood Monument, and just to be able to get beautiful footage of that. There was wind on that day. It wasn't very strong, but the Neo would have absolutely panicked. It would have been all over the place. It would have probably created distortion. I wouldn't have been able to get that ground to sky shot or the point of interest shot. So the next bit of footage shows off the gimbal as well and how good it keeps that straight footage along. So this was another bit of ground to sky, as you can see now. So this was just setting off from the ground, going up to reveal the castle and priory at Tynemouth. Tynemouth itself in the distance, obviously you can see the beaches and the North Sea and just see the beautiful area that is Tynemouth. Now, if I'd have been filming this with the DJI Neo, it would have been rocking because there was a bit of a wind, gusts every now and then. So it might have been okay to a point, but then as soon as the Neo sort of does this sort of thing, it pixelates, distorts. Whereas because of the gimbal being able to move freely in different directions rather than just up and down, when it's going across or it's going up or down, the gimbal kind of moves to keep the subject matter in that shot perfectly. So as you can see, I do another one now, which is going sideways. This is revealing more of the castle than the priory ruins. You're also seeing the gravestones of where the kings are buried and the North Sea over in the distance as well. So when it comes to a review of this, I can't really fault it in any way. The battery life's great, the gimbal's great. You've got that rotation as well as sort of moving it up and down. The only thing I would probably say out of this, the difference between this and the Neo is the propeller guards. That's the only thing I would say. Whether you've got the Neo 2 or the Avata 2, the Avata 360 or the Flip, they've all got propeller guards built in. So when they hit something, it'll hit it, sort of rock about, stabilize itself, and then get back on with the job in hand. Whereas anything with these propellers, because there's nothing guarding them, as soon as something hits the propeller shuts off and it will drop. It doesn't matter if it's 2 feet off the ground or 120 meters off the ground. Anything that hits those propellers, it will drop, and you can't start them again because it'll just say check propellers on the screen, and you can try and restart it, but I've tried, it won't restart. So if it's falling out of the sky, you've just got to watch it drop. So I think that's the only negative I can think of, is the sort of the fact it doesn't have propeller guards built onto it. Now I know you can buy propeller guards for it, but it makes it kind of bulky. It means you've got extra stuff to take out with you. You can't fold it up neatly like this that you would. You can't just stick the cover on, stick it in your cover bag and you're off. You've got to basically dismantle all of the propellers, because the propellers come with the guards it actually fixes on. Obviously these are sort of easy to pull off, but it's a bit more faff. So I think it's more of a case of just knowing where you're flying. Don't fly near trees, don't fly near anything that could potentially stop them. Obviously you might get bird strike, but there's nothing you can do about that. The chances are if it hits a bird, it might come down anyway. But apart from that, obstacle avoidance is pretty decent on solid objects, obviously not trees. Gimbal's decent, quality's decent, slow motion's decent, rotation's decent, the features are all good on it. Yeah, it is an excellent upgrade. So if you do have something like the Neo 2 or the Flip, this is definitely the way to go. It's a decent option. It's probably about 500 quid or something like that for the package. Obviously you've got Lito and Lito X1 now, but I feel that this is still better than those two. There's the Avata 360 that's out, which is great. Obviously, if you're a beginner and you want to get into that side of things, it is fly once and have as many shots as you want. So if you're flying in one direction and there's something over in that direction, you can keep flying in that direction. But then in the edit, you can just pull the video around to focus that way, which is great. I think that's good. Whereas this, you would have to physically turn the drone around. But I still think, hands down, quality-wise, this is better than all of those put together. Even the 360, because obviously once you've cropped that down to the footage you want, it's 1080p, and this is still going to be 4K, whatever you do. So yeah, let us know what you think of the Mini 5 Pro yourself, and if you've had any issues, what you think any negative points are, or what your positive points are, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. So take care of yourself and happy flying, and bye bye.